5 of them. Here's Smith going coast to coast to McCowan, who got a piece. Fever have erased an early 12-point deficit. Indiana's trailed by.
The announcement of the WNBA All-Star selections stirred both celebration and controversy across the basketball world. While Indiana Fever's rookie sensation Caitlin Clark and Minnesota Lynx forward Napheesa Collier emerged as the leading vote-getters, the distinction of team captain's it was the details behind the voting process that fueled public debate. The league's voting system allocates 50% of the decision-making power to fans, while WNBA players and media each contribute 25%. Clark, who has been the most talked-about figure in women's basketball this year, was overwhelmingly supported by the fans, topping all players in overall votes. Her immense popularity, which spans far beyond Indiana or even WNBA loyalists, is undeniably one of the reasons the league is experiencing a surge in viewership and merchandise sales. Yet, despite this groundswell of support from the public, the response from within the league, particularly from her peers, painted a very different picture. According to the breakdown, Clark received significantly lower support from fellow WNBA players, allegedly being ranked as low as 9th among guards, a shocking revelation given her statistical contributions, nightly highlights, and undeniable impact on the sport. One prominent voice that did not stay silent in the aftermath was ESPN's legendary college basketball analyst Dick Vitale. Known for his passionate and often animated takes, Vitale didn't mince words when reacting to the voting breakdown. "Absolutely, pure jealousy," he declared on social media and later in interviews, referencing how the players' portion of the vote saw Clark slide far below where many expected her to be. According to Vitale, Clark's contributions to the game both on and off the court have been nothing short of transformative. "Someday they will realize what she has done for all of the players in the WNBA," he said, citing her role in bringing increased attention, record-breaking television ratings, surging ticket sales, and new sponsorship opportunities to the league. In essence, Vitale argued that Clark's peers were failing to recognize the bigger picture. While she may be a rookie and still developing her game to match seasoned veterans, her influence on the visibility and commercial success of the WNBA is already profound. To understand the controversy, one must dive into what Caitlin Clark represents. She isn't just a basketball player, she's a movement. The former Iowa Hawkeye broke nearly every collegiate scoring record and brought in audiences that previously would not have tuned into women's college basketball. Her NCAA tournament run set viewership records, outperforming even some men's games. Since entering the WNBA, the Caitlin Clark effect has been impossible to ignore. The Indiana Fever, a team that previously struggled to draw national attention, suddenly found themselves playing in front of packed arenas, receiving regular primetime TV slots, and drawing media coverage unlike anything the team had experienced before. Across social media, Clark trended daily. Her jersey sold out almost immediately. Road games for Indiana became events in cities like Chicago, Los Angeles, and New York. Media outlets that had long overlooked the WNBA began dedicating segments and articles. Largely because of her presence, even critics had to admit, love her or not, Clark was moving the needle. And yet, within the league itself, some players seemed reluctant to fully embrace her. The All-Star vote brought this tension to the forefront. The fact that her media rank was third among guards behind Alicia Gray and Sabrina Ionescuus, surprising but not inexplicable. Both Gray and Ionescuus are strong, established players with a proven track record of performance. However, the player vote is what caught everyone off guard. That Clark could be viewed by her colleagues as only the 9th best guard seemed out of step with her production and impact. She was averaging over 15 points per game, alongside impressive assist and rebound numbers, all while being the focal point of every opposing defense. Many fans and analysts felt that even if she wasn't the best player yet, her overall influence easily justified a higher ranking. This discrepancy opened up a broader conversation. Was Clark being undervalued by her peers due to basketball reasons? Or was there a deeper issue at play, perhaps envy or resentment stemming from the overwhelming spotlight she enjoys? Dick Vitale, who has spent decades watching young stars rise through the ranks of college basketball, was adamant that jealousy was the root cause. From his perspective, Clark's presence should be celebrated by WNBA players, not minimized. Her successes, in many ways, their success too, increased viewership has a trickle-down effect, leading to more significant sponsorship deals, better TV contracts, chartered flights, and improved overall conditions for all players. Indeed, Since Clark's arrival, WNBA revenue conversations have shifted. The league has seen sharp increases in attendance and ratings. For the first time in years, some games have been moved to larger venues to accommodate demand. In one high-profile example, Clark's game against the New York Liberty was moved to Barclays Center and drew more than 17,000 fans. Her matchup against Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky consistently led sports news coverage and attracted millions of viewers across platforms. Still, there are valid points on both sides. Some WNBA veterans have expressed frustration that Clark receives outsized attention despite being new to the league. In their view, players who have long carried the WNBA through less glamorous eras, during times when sponsorship and media coverage were minimal, deserve more respect and recognition. For years, names like Diana Taurasi, Aja Wilson, Breena Stewart, and Alina Del Dunn built the WNBA's foundation. Players like Alyssa Thomas and Araiko Gunbo have consistently delivered all-star level performances without ever receiving the kind of spotlight that Clark has earned almost instantly. It's understandable that, for some, the sudden shift in public narrative might feel unjust. But even so, Clark's arrival doesn't diminish the greatness of those players, it enhances it. That's a key part of Vitale's argument. The attention Clark brings lifts everyone. It brings new eyes, new fans, and new money. The WNBA, historically underfunded and underpromoted, now has a front-facing star who resonates with fans across all demographics. That doesn't mean she's the best player in the league, but she is the most watched, the most Googled, the most followed, and the most discussed. And that kind of cultural relevance is invaluable. Dick Vitale's frustration stems from the idea that instead of recognizing this as a win for everyone, some players appear to be pushing back, perhaps motivated by pride or a sense of fairness. But in a league that is still fighting for parity in media coverage and salaries, pushing away your biggest star may be short-sighted. Others in the media have echoed Vitale's sentiment, if not quite as forcefully. Sports analysts from networks like FS1, ESPN, and The Athletic have pointed out that Clark's impact on viewership metrics is measurable and immediate. Fever games often triple or quadruple the ratings of other WNBA contests. Social media engagement around Clark's name dwarfs most of her peers. In a business sense, she is undeniably good for the league, but there's also a human element to consider. Clark has handled her sudden fame with poise. She's made no disparaging comments about teammates or opponents. She regularly credits her peers, gives back to fans, and remains focused on improving her game. Despite taking brutal hits on the court, including repeated instances of physical play that many believe crossed the line, Clark has rarely retaliated or complained. That kind of restraint from a 22-year-old rookie is noteworthy.
Golden State in this quarter, 0-4 from the field in 2 turnovers in their last 6 possessions as Hayes.
Asterisk, the 2025 WNBA All-Star Game is set to take place on July 19th at Gainbridge Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana, a city that has embraced Caitlin Clark with open arms since her arrival to the Indiana Fever. The arena is expected to be sold out, a testament to Clark's extraordinary impact on the league in just her rookie season. Clark, the most talked about player in women's basketball, continues to draw packed arenas across the country, whether she's playing at home or on the road. Her popularity is undeniable. Ticket sales, TV ratings, jersey purchases, and social media trends have all skyrocketed since she entered the league, with an average of 18.2 points, 8.9 assists, 5.0 rebounds, and 1.2 steals per game. Clark's on-court numbers are more than solid, they're exceptional, especially for a first-year player adjusting to the WNBA's pace and physicality. She's missed 7 games this season due to injuries. First a quad issue and then a re-aggravated groin strain, which continues to affect her availability. As of the latest report, she's listed as questionable for Tuesday's Commissioner's Cup final against the Minnesota Lynx, a game that will pit her against Napheesa Collier, her fellow All-Star captain and one of the league's established stars. The media buzz around this game alone shows how much Clark has altered the attention landscape. But as fans and analysts gear up to celebrate her achievements, a deeper conversation continues to simmer beneath the surface. One that centers not just around her statistics or highlight reels, but around the question of how she's being perceived inside the WNBA itself. Is Caitlin Clark truly being underrated by her peers, or is there a more nuanced explanation behind her lower-than-expected player vote in the All-Star rankings? When the All-Star voting results were released, Fans were thrilled to see Clark not only make the roster but earn the most fan votes of any player in the league. That public support translated into her being named one of the captains for the annual showcase, alongside Collier. But when the breakdown of the voting was analyzed, it became clear that Clark's popularity with fans and the media didn't align with how she's viewed by some of her fellow players. While she was voted first by fans and ranked third by media members behind Atlanta's Alicia Gray and New York's Sabrina Ionescu, reports surfaced suggesting she was ranked as low as ninth among guards by WNBA players. That revelation sent shockwaves through social media and sports talk shows. For many fans, it was baffling. How could someone so impactful both statistically and culturally be viewed as barely cracking the top 10 in her position by her peers? The narrative quickly turned to accusations of jealousy, with prominent voices in the sports world chiming in. Chief among them was ESPN's longtime college basketball commentator Dick Vitale, who did not hold back in his assessment. He called the players' ranking of Clark absolutely pure jealousy, arguing that Clark's arrival in the WNBA has elevated the entire league, bringing attention, investment, and opportunity for all players, not just herself. According to Vitale and many others, Clark's presence is directly tied to major improvements across the WNBA, from sold-out crowds to increased sponsorships, more consistent national TV coverage, and even discussions about improving travel and player accommodations, including the long-contested issue of charter flights. Clark has become a symbol of progress in women's sports, but with that visibility comes scrutiny, and perhaps even resentment. While some of the criticisms directed at Clark are subtle, others have been overt. Physical play against her has been noticeably intense, at times bordering on targeted. She has been knocked to the ground, shoved, and body-checked more than most rookies, prompting conversations about whether players are sending a message or simply testing a rising star. Through it all, Clark has remained largely composed. She hasn't lashed out or accused anyone of unfair treatment, instead choosing to focus on basketball, team improvement, and navigating the steep learning curve of professional play. Still, the divide between how fans see Clark and how she is viewed by a portion of the league remains a hot topic. One theory is that players are hesitant to anoint someone who hasn't yet paid her dues. The WNBA is filled with elite athletes who have spent years grinding for every bit of recognition. Many of them played in empty arenas, traveled commercially on grueling schedules, and fought for equitable pay and representation.